Hey, let's talk about plastic repair for a minute. You can kind of see the big mess I got going on right here. But anyways, basically we've got a good back bumper on this car still. So, and the thing about doing rebuilds, you're trying to save all the money you can. I ain't gonna say you're trying to do it cheap as you can, but you want to do it right too. So, anyways, we got a good back bumper all the way across this car, and you know, it's got a little bit of clear peel and some other issues with it. You can see somebody put these big junky looking covers on it right here, and they've rubbed, so we're gonna feather that out. We'll prime that, that'll be good. But now what I've done around the whole car before I started on it, I walked around, I marked everything with a circle X that needed to be fixed. So you can even see like right up here that was circled at one time. What we done right here, this wheel well was kind of crushed in, so we went back and took a big puller, pulled all this out. You know, I don't have a frame machine here at my shop, so this got hooked to a tractor and with some frame accessories, that type of stuff we use at shop over at school, and we pulled all this out. So, but we're gonna talk about plastic repair. So you can kind of see in this picture or in this video, this is pushed out. So, you know, I took the fender liner out where I'm working up here on the front side of it. But let me try to get a better, you can kind of see where that's humped out. So, you know, plastic is it's forgiven, but it ain't. And there's a whole different set of processes that need to be used to fix it. So, I'm gonna kind of show you how this is gonna work. You can't put Bondo in a bumper, but I'm gonna show you some processes of how this needs to be fixed and the right way to fix it, that it'll hold and won't pop back out. So we're gonna fix this, we've already talked about this, we're gonna fix this dent right here. Now what's more than likely happened is they've been a stick come up through here and gouge this out. You don't run into this a lot. A lot of times with any kind of plastic bumpers, you've either got a hole in it or a tear in it that you got to repair. So this is kind of oddball repair. But we're going to do this with a couple of different things. Now you can't put Bondo in this. You can't put icing in it. It's got to be a special kind of glaze. If you look right here, USC makes this. It's what they call Pro Glaze. It's polyester putty and polyester flexible. So, and what this is going to do, this is going to, when you got to think of a bumper, it's plastic, and you've got wintertime, you've got summertime. So in the summertime, this might have, you know, sitting in the parking lot 120 degrees on it, sitting there hot. In the wintertime, it could be minus 40 degrees. So just like anything else, you know, metal is more temperamental, but plastic's going to expand and contract. So if we put something in it that won't flex, like a Bondo or an icing or something like that, what's going to happen is eventually it's going to fall back out. But so how we're going to fix this, we're going to take a heat gun and we're going to heat this area up. And what we're going to do, we're going to soften the plastic. We ain't going to heat it up enough to burn a hole in it. We ain't going to heat it up enough to sag it or anything like it. We're just trying to soften it. Now you got to remember, basically like this right here, it's got memory. Plastic's got memory, metal's got memory. So when this got pushed out, basically it shrunk what was out around it. So, you know, it's pushed it out and we've got a high hump now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna heat it up. We're gonna make it lose its memory basically. Then we're gonna take a body hammer, which is a wooden handle hammer. You don't wanna use a plastic hammer because you'll melt it. So use a wooden handle hammer. And after we heat it up, we're just gonna push this in. Now what we're gonna do, after we heat it up and change its memory, we're gonna push it in and hold it long enough. That way, basically when it cools back off, we've changed its memory, so it's actually holding the dent in. And sometimes you can do it on the first try, sometimes it takes a second try, but basically you're just taking a heat gun and heating up around the area. While you're heating, you can also start pushing it in to kind of see how soft it is. And you can kind of hold it in and keep heating it. One of my main problems is I've got the inner fender out of it, and it's kind of floppy right now. But now you can kind of see it's grime to hold itself in. So we're gonna keep on working out, soften it up all the way around. Then we're gonna let it cool off and see how it holds. Alright, so you can see we kind of done this in one try. So it's still a little hot, but what we've done, we've actually reversed it, pushed it back in, changed the plastic's memory, so now it's going to hold in. So I'll get this cleaned up, I'll sand it out, and we'll come back with another video and basically show you how to fill this stuff. But like I said, just let it cool down. Don't get in a hurry with it. If you get in a hurry with it, just like anything with body work, you're going to mess up, and you're better off taking your time, doing it right the first time, than coming back and fixing it. So having to do it twice. So like I said, we'll let this cool off and we'll come back with the other part of the video. Alright, so what I've done, I took glass cleaner. Now you want to make sure that any kind of glass cleaner you use does not have ammonia in it. Old regular Windex. You got to watch about buying stuff at the dollar store. Most of the time we pick this up at the jobber store. This is Spray Away. They make a lot of stuff. They used to be Crown, I think, but it's about $3 a can. So what we've done, we've cleaned this off to make sure there ain't nothing on it. You can use a wax and grease remover also, which is a little better, but it seems like I have trouble out of wax and grease removers. All right, so what we've done, we took a scrap piece of 80 grit sandpaper. You know, we know our dents about right in through here, but you can see I've sanded out farther. I took the 80 grit, I've sanded it down, and you got to remember, whether it's body work, paint work, or whatever, basically you're modifying the original structure. So if anything that you've got here, basically if you don't sand it, whether it's paint, Bondo, filler, primer, if you don't sand it, it don't stick. So it can all look well and good. I could get this painted and be done, but if I don't make a mechanical bite for my putty to bite into, basically I could paint this and 2 or 3 months later the paint just fall off of it because I don't have a mechanical bite. So you either need a mechanical or a chemical bite. Now where a lot of people mess up, they'll sand something down like this, they'll leave it looking like this, and they'll put their putty on it. So 2 things you either need to do. You need to blow it off the air hose or wipe it off the rag. Air hose is a little better, but when we're doing a video, we ain't gonna do that. So I'm gonna take a rag and wipe this off. And what that does, you can see all the dust on the rag, you know, that cleans that off. And what happens if I took my Bondo spreader and rode across this with all this dust, basically it just lets the Bondo roll. So like I said, we've cleaned it off, and we're gonna use something that you know, this is probably, I'm thinking about $30 for this tube right here. So you kind of want to watch how you use it. It's kind of like icing. It's a lot more expensive than Bondo. But this is going to give us our flexibility we need in this. So instead of putting a whole bumper on this or leaving this big nasty spot on here, we're going to be able to fix it, save the bumper, save some money. So this is USC brand Pro Glaze polyester finishing putty. 26118 is the number on it. Different brands. You've got quite a few different brands that make companies that make this. So you don't have to use USC, but it's kind of my go-to. So this is going to mix, you know, just like your Bondo or your putty. And I probably should have mixed the tube up before I just done that. So you can see right here, it ain't mixed up real good. So we're going to scrap this piece and put another. So I just wasted $1. So it's going to use the same hardener that your Bondo, icing, and all that good stuff uses. It don't use an epoxy type hardener or anything like that. It's just a cream hardener. So we're doing as good as we can. It's cold outside, so this stuff is still kind of cool. Kind of like ketchup coming out of the bottle. So we're going to try to mix this up by hand real quick and see if we can do any better. There we go. Now this stuff don't spread. It's got a plastic feel to it. It don't spread like icing. It don't spread like Bondo, and it definitely don't sand like it. It's a little harder to sand because it tries to gum up on you. So the mix ratio with the hardener is about the same as Bondo and icing. Just run you a bead across it or whatever you're used to doing. Remember, if you don't put enough hardener in something, it ain't gonna dry. If you put too much in, it's gonna dry quick. If you put it on too thick with too much in it, it's gonna crack out. So, now with this stuff being so runny like it is, it might take more than one pass. You remember, you don't want to build stuff up too thick, because it will crack out over time. There's a right way, there's a wrong way to do all this stuff, so you know, you're better off trying to fill your center up a little bit first. Like I said about sanding it down, if you don't sand it down, this stuff has nothing to stick to. As this stuff gets a little harder, it's getting a little thicker, so it's gonna try to hang in there. It's gonna take 2 passes to do this, maybe 3. But I'm gonna sand it down with 80 grit each time. And then we'll go back and put 2K primer on it. And hopefully we saved ourselves a bunch of money by not putting a bumper on the car. It made the car's resale value a little better because we fixed the big nasty spot that somebody's put in it. You know, how I'm working this right here is usually not how you work Bondo or icing. I'm just trying to get it where it's so runny to kind of stay in the dent that we made. So give this 15-20 minutes, depends on the temperature. Then you can come back and sand it off. And like I said, you might have to make another pass on it. So when we come back, I'll have this sanded down and built up like it needs to be. And then it should be ready for primer. So. I've sanded it down twice now, actually 3 times. It took 3 skim coats to actually get the dent, you know, flush and level where it feels smooth and everything. So this has been brought up to 80 grit sandpaper. So we're going to take it to 180 one more time, but I won't show you that. Make sure when you're sanding, you're always using a block that's bigger than, you know, than your dent. And always make sure you're cross hatching. That way you get this good feathered edge and you don't have to worry about it showing back out after you get your primer and paint done. Watch our next video. It's basically, it's going to be called From Bondo to Paint, or Bondo to Primer. Watch it and it'll show you how to bring this up to put it in 2K primer and get it ready to paint. Thanks for watching. If you don't care, subscribe to our page, Paint Hooligans, and like our videos so we can get some more out to you. Thank you.